Welcome home, sah-him.
After the shocking conclusion to last week's episode, and with Thea's life hanging in the balance, Oliver and his friends returned to Nanda Parbat to accept an offer that Oliver simply couldn't refuse. Welcome to the top 5 moments of the episode, followed by the overall verdict.
Thea? Oh God, Thea! No, Thea, stay awake. Come on.
Oliver is grief-stricken upon finding his sister bleeding out back at the apartment. Even Malcolm managed to shed a tear and shed out some emotion upon seeing the news. But when the smoke from the League appeared, Oliver just didn't have a plan.
You can still save her, Oliver. I don't understand. Take your rightful place as heir to the demon, and Ghul will bring your sister back.
Tell him whatever it is your heart needs to express, and do it now, before he is lost to you forever.
After showing the fire within her by standing up to Ra's al Ghul himself, Felicity decided to take Raz up on his advice, to show Oliver how she truly feels before she loses him forever.
There are waters in Nanda Parbat. They've permitted Raz to live for over 100 years. And in rare instances, told in legend, those waters have been used to restore the dead to life.
After bringing Thea to Nanda Parbat, she is prepared for the ritual of resurrection. Would Thea come back exactly as she was? Or would Malcolm's warning to Oliver about the repercussions of the resurrection come true?
What did you...
I can't lose you. I won't.
Knowing how Felicity acts, you knew she wouldn't let Oliver go without a fight. And even after receiving help from Maseo, the team couldn't manage to escape Nanda Parbat with a knocked out Oliver on Diggle's back.
I am sah-him, Warith Ghul, heir to the demon, and you will obey. Put your weapons down.
Oliver Queen is dead. Eventually to be reborn as Ghul. And for now, only the arrow, sah-him, shall remain.
Having no choice but to accept the offer, Oliver Queen is officially sah-him, the future Ra's al Ghul, and the heir to the demon.
Sah-him, heir to the demon.
My overall verdict for this week's episode of Arrow is a 9 out of 10. That was one of the best episodes of Arrow for a very long time. You knew from the moment that Raz had pierced his sword through Thea's chest last week that Oliver would have no choice but to inevitably accept the offer that was in front of him if he wanted any chance of Thea to live. Raz offered Oliver the opportunity to use his famous Lazarus pits. Everyone knew that the mystic waters in Nanda Parbat were indeed the Lazarus pits, but they were never officially name-dropped until now. And truth be told, the Lazarus pit worked, as Thea was restored to life, but it came at a price. In part exchange for Thea's life was Oliver giving up his own to become sah-him, the future Ra's al Ghul and the heir to the demon. This episode also gave some fans a moment they have been waiting for a very long time. I personally have never been one for Felicity, But for those who got to enjoy the pair finally hook up together. Felicity wouldn't leave it at that though. She successfully drugged Oliver, then tried to sneak him out from under the League's noses. A plan which, as the rest of the team said, was pretty crazy, and it eventually failed. But before Oliver made his transformation, he had his chance to say his goodbyes. To his sister, to Felicity, but for me, his goodbye to Diggle was easily the best of the lot.
John, you're the best man I've ever known. Whatever happens, you're my brother.
The brotherly bond between the pair has been going for a long time now, so it was great for those two to get a meaningful scene together. Diggle even had a brilliant scene with Maceo earlier in the episode. And I don't know about you, but I'm getting the vibe that Maceo is going to have a key role to play in the future, and on if Oliver does succeed Raz for the Demon's Head. And speaking of Raz, we got to learn a little more about our main villain this week. We learnt about his past and how he became the figurehead of the League of Assassins that he is today. It enabled us to humanise our villain, even if ever so slightly, but Matt Nable is nailing this part. He really is a presence of authority on the screen. Now the question for us now is, where do we go from here? Oliver is now sah-him, renouncing Oliver Queen so only the Arrow remains. Let's face it, we know that eventually he's going to go back to becoming the masked vigilante of Starling City, but for now, he is the heir to the demon, and the heir to Ra's al Ghul. By the looks of it, this storyline will continue into Season 4, unless a very swift turnaround occurs in the final 3 episodes. What do you guys think? As always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you next week.
Sah-him, heir to the demon.